Good morning, everyone. It's Dan Campbell with Texas Open Door Realty. Welcome to another edition of the Happy Homeowner. Today I have my friend Ricardo Brenes from Virtual Ware Solutions. He is a computer expert. He is the man that handles our computer problems when we have them, and he's been doing this for me for a couple of years now, and it's been wonderful. And a few weeks ago we had a series on cybersecurity issues, and there were several questions that came up that we couldn't answer, and I thought, I need to bring Ricardo in to answer these questions, and so he's here today to do that. But first of all, Ricardo, tell us a little bit about your company, what Virtual Ware Solutions does.
Okay, yeah, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me, Dan. And I own a IT company. Basically, we do IT services.
Okay.
And in those IT services, we like to tailor those to pretty much fit every customer's needs and requirements in the IT area. So ideally, what we're looking to do is change a little bit the kind of behind the desk or shop kind of IT places, and become more of an IT department for companies, for small, medium companies that do not have that option to have their internal or hire employees that would do that for them. So we try to offer them the service and become their IT partner and pretty much handhold with them and help their business grow, as we are definitely doing IT services. So basically we'll do anything from repair of computers, software issues, and then we have a whole gamut of different services that we do. Basically, we can build from the ground up any infrastructure or any company, network, computers, software, if they need to, websites, everything that they may require, we can help them out, as well as making sure we secure their operation, their information, and protect them from the world out there. Okay,
great. And so one of the things that's cool about Ricardo's operation is that it doesn't matter how small or how large you are, you have systems that can help any customer.
That's correct.
So that's been great. Well, ironically, after I lined you up, we had it's not a hack, it's a scam.
Right.
You corrected me on the verbiage. We had a scam hit us, hit our company, Texas Open Door Realty. One of our agents, it happened to be one of our newer agents, new to us. She's not a new agent, but she got what appeared very convincingly to be an email from me that basically said, hey, Susan, I need your help if you're available. Are you close to a store? And it went back and forth with her on email, basically asking her to purchase some gift cards and get them for me. And that would not necessarily have been unrealistic request.
Yep.
We do use gift cards in our business from time to time, but fortunately the agent sniffed it out and she connected with me and I connected with you, and I thought I had been hacked, but actually it was just they had gathered enough information from social media and from our website to make a convincing scam. And so that just heightens the need for things like this, for us to discuss what's going on. And so anyway, tell us a little bit about what are best practices for businesses related to, and even personal computers related to these issues.
I would just generalize that regardless if it's personal or business computers, you're going to want to keep, I guess, 5 basic practices. From that being making sure you have a policy established on how you're going to recycle your passwords. A lot of times we'll use friendly passwords that we name after our kids or after and these are easily hacked because as you know, everything's on social media, as you found out, and they can start deducting what the passwords are, what the birthdays are. Even just by knowing the age of one of your kids, they can get the year that they were born, which are very common things what people would use to create their passwords, right? Even the name of their pets or the models of their cars, or things like that. So basically what is recommended nowadays is to have a password generator that will randomly create passwords for you, have no relationship with any of your personal life is just the alphanumeric password.
Okay.
And then you need to establish a time that you're going to be recycling that. So that's what a password policy enforcement is going to be. So that's one of the things. Definitely you're going to want to back up if you can, right? Because that's the only way you're going to be able to recover anything. Definitely have a good antivirus, making sure that you are scanning and constantly alerting. The best approach is going to be preventive, not reactive actions. So a lot of people will say, well, if I get a virus, I'll download something, clean it, and then just continue. That is reactive. It could be too late when you can't access your computer operating system, or they took over or controlled. And then definitely educate yourself. Education, read a lot, make sure you know what's going on in the world. A lot of these things will come out in the news, will tell you what's going on, and as soon as you have that, contact an IT person or expert that can help you make sure you're protected. And then I would say the other part is going to be keeping in mind that you need to be focused on the symptoms of what's going on with your computer symptoms.
All right.
You'll notice that they'll get slower. They'll start performing different, or you start getting pop-ups, things like that. Those could be potential hacks or potential ransomware, or Trojans, or things that are living in your computer. And I would say be careful with the emails, because I would say most of the times any virus comes from emails or information you did not request, or scams. When you enable, you can enable scams through emails. Most of them are going to come that way. So if it's information you did not request, or it's an email from somebody you don't know, for businesses it's hard because it could be a new potential customer that's writing to you, right? So have separate emails for those kind of things that is separate from your more important information. So that's why a lot of companies will use like an info at their company name email, because it's separate from your email where you're having all this other information that it's important. So keep those things separated and make sure you know what you're clicking, and that's going to help you secure a lot more.
Okay. And like for me, for this scam that happened to us, it sounded a little funny to the agent who read it, and so she rightly said, "Hey, is this you?" She sent me an email, "Hey, is this you?" And it actually appeared to even come from my email, but the .com at the end was different. It said .me or something like that,
right?
Instead of the .com, and so. But she wouldn't have known that. The average person wouldn't have known that.
No, it mostly is because these are called phishing scams.
Okay.
And it's basically called phishing scams because they're trying to fish somebody and see what they can catch.
Got it.
They're not aiming towards they know that 100% of the people are not going to fall for it, but if one or two do, then that's a win for them, right? So basically they'll try to hide everything under images. They'll try to copy pages from services that you use. I've seen login pages from like Google or Gmail that look exactly the same to the dot, and it's a Google, and the only difference is that in the URL on top it had a dash, so it was gmail-something.com.
Oh wow.
So in the eye of somebody that doesn't know, it's going to be hard, and normally you'll click directly from the email because it's convenient. And basically when you log in, you put your username and your password, they capture that, they'll log you in, redirect you to your Gmail, and you never knew that they actually took your password at that point, and then you'll start noticing your user information being used elsewhere or something like that, or you might not even know, right? So that's where, again, first of all, do not click on those things if you're not sure. A lot of these companies, they don't do those kind of things like update information or that through email. The only time they'll do that is via phone, and nowadays there's even scams on the phones that they say that they're from that company and they're not. So we just got to be careful, alert. Do not give information of anything you not requested, and if they want you to update it, you go directly to the institution or something and try to update it there. And then anything that you are not sure, copy and paste the URL or the link and make sure you pretty much look it over with the magnifying glass to make sure it is the person or the company it is. So domain.com is the liable piece. So if you're Texas Open Door Realty.com, but any modification to that, that's not them, for example.
Got it. Yeah. In fact, as we're sitting here talking, I realize that I get these emails every week. There was one of the title companies that I use. I got a series of emails from them where they were supposedly updating me on a file, and I needed to click on this PDF, but I knew that it wasn't them. Number one, I don't have any transactions going right now where they would be sending me information. Exactly. And then the other one was, it asked me to click on a PDF link that normally that title company doesn't do. Exactly. And so I thought it's a scam, but it's amazing how they copied that title company's protocol. Exactly. If I wasn't paying attention, I would click on that, and I'm sure I have clicked on those. And so our computers get filled with these viruses and things. So a minute ago, you mentioned that if our computer starts to run slowly, that could be an indicator. What are some good virus protection companies? If I know, that can you give us a couple of names of a couple of good ones that?
Yeah.
That
so I personally like McAfee. Protection, and the reason is because they're very strict as to how they enforce. Basically, they'll come in from the get-go, you install, and they block everything. Okay.
So then you got to unblock what you want.
Then you got to unblock what you want. So a lot of people hate it because of that, and if you're not technical or you're not savvy, you might get frustrated because things don't connect, things don't work. But basically, it's probably going to protect you more if you go that way, because a lot of people say, let's do it the other way around. Let's install something that keeps everything open and I'll block as I need. It ends up people don't block anything because they just want the facility. So at the end, you end up with just a virus scan software that does that. So good antivirus nowadays needs to have the virus protection scan software, the real-time protection. So this is when it catches it before it even gets into your computer. And it also needs to have a personal firewall. Okay. So if it doesn't have those three things, it might not be a good thing to look into. And then a lot of them nowadays, they'll help you with the password policies, and that's why they have these password managers. So basically, the way this should be is you should have a encrypted one-time password that manages your password book, to say it that way, and then it'll generate random passwords for your accounts, and you can always use your master password to there, but it keeps in memory and encrypted your passwords. So that is definitely a good practice to have. And antivirus would be, again, as I said, not every antivirus is for every company or every user. You just need to kind of get comfortable with one, read about it before you buy, or if not, ask an expert. For example, we come in, normally we'll assess what applications is. I had a customer that we did McAfee. He was actually a dentist, and he did not like it because it started blocking. It would give him headaches. His business was being impacted because things he couldn't access or weren't running, or he felt it was running slow because then you're scanning as you go. So McAfee wasn't the fit for him. So we went back to another antivirus. At that point, I think it's I forgot the name. It's it was another version. AV antivirus, I think. What was the name? And basically, that one gave him the facility. It still gave him the tools, but it wasn't blocking everything. Got it. Right. So it allowed him to be able to run his business and still be protected. So we that's what we do. We'll come in and we'll be as aggressive as we can be, and try not to impact the business. But a lot of these policies will have a little bit of impact at the beginning, but it's part of the process. We were talking about firewalls, and that a lot of times we just assume when we get a router, like if I get AT&T as my internet provider, they send me a router, and then I set it up and enter the password, and I think I'm good to go. But you were telling me that 80% of people don't have their firewall set up well? Correct. So, and that a lot of times viruses and Trojan software are in the router. So what do we do about that? So the router is a key part of your network, and it's basically what's gonna allow traffic in, traffic out. Right?
Okay.
Traffic works through specific ports. Okay. And through those ports is where the communication happens. For example, anything that you browse, it's a port 80.
Okay.
Okay. Anything that is a secure port is going to be a 443 port.
Okay.
And everything, applications to specific apps, they'll use the specific ports. So what happens is really that when you activate a firewall, that firewall is going to block almost everything other than port 80 and 443 or
Okay.
port for the emails, for the outgoing emails, for your chat communications, and basically with these antiviruses, they'll detect what that is and they'll let you go through.
Okay.
Routers are not that smart. You have to be programmed. So a lot of them, you go and activate the firewall. The firewall's activated, but it doesn't have any rules in it.
Oh, no rules. Got
So
it.
then you have to come and create rules and say, well, block anything that's coming from every port other than, or you can then go and name just allow these ports to come in. But this doesn't happen automatically.
Got it.
Okay. This needs to be done, and you need to be able to identify what ports you require and then set these different firewalls. So if it's a business, it's critical that that gets done, because otherwise you're open to the world regardless if you have a router or not.
Okay.
And those are just common practices that should be there.
So one of the things we were talking about is that it's very easy to, if you do like we have Carbonite, and it backs up automatically, that if you get any viruses or any ransomware, they're going to be in the backup.
Right.
So what are some things we need to do to prevent that?
Yeah. So there's two types of backups you can do. There is there's going to be a full backup, and then basically you do full backups every day, and then you have incremental backups. A lot of the cloud backup softwares, they'll do incremental because it saves time. So that means that they'll do a one-time full backup of your computer. Let's say you have 20 gigs of data. Next day you added, 12 megs of data additional. So they're going to come scan, find the difference between the previous backup and this backup, and then just upload the changes.
Okay.
What does that mean? Basically that a virus comes in, that's a file that's living there. They're going to copy that file and put it up, right? So eventually a lot of these ransomware viruses, they'll have a trigger date, meaning that they'll be triggered by an event, by a date, by time, or something. And at that point, it starts locking up or doing whatever they need to do. And then you lose access to your data, or the viruses start spreading, or basically they'll implant a port, something that opens a port, and they can start pushing data through to wherever they need it.
Wow.
Right? And so at that point, what you want to be able to do is have incremental backups as in parallel to full backups on a daily basis, or set a backup policy that will be more compliant to your business. Depending on the types of transactions, you're going to want to be more aggressive, or if not, then you can be less aggressive. But the idea is that you're going to have offline backups, a full backup, and you're going to have cloud backups for easy restore of your services.
Okay.
Or if you need to access data from anywhere on the go or whatever, right? So basically, having these types of backups is going to allow you to prevent. So let's say your backup your current computer goes down because of the virus, then you have the data in your cloud. If your cloud has been infected, then you have your offline backup. So this is just giving
what's
you
what's an offline backup? What's
offline backup could
illustration
be,
of that?
it would be in a disk drive that is not connected to the internet.
So like a separate hard drive
A
that you
separate
just
hard drive
back
that
up.
you could just back up, and again, that could be done every now. Now there is services that we can implement where you have a RAID of hard drives that will basically turn on, pull the backup, and then just turn back off.
I see.
Okay, at certain times, so it's more of a scheduled backup.
Okay.
Got
it.
More so than just cloud. Cloud, basically, whatever you throw in it, they'll keep it there, and that's it.
Okay. What I want to recommend to everybody is that they get some professional advice.
Yes.
They don't have to necessarily buy into everything, because it won't necessarily apply, but just the conversation that we had this morning before this broadcast, I realized I need to get you to look at everything we're doing here as a small company, small business, and kind of audit it and say you need to change the way you're doing this.
Right.
Because we do get personal information on our clients, and we try and protect that the best that we can. But golly, there's so many ways these things can go awry. It just makes me realize I need to have somebody, like you. You're my go-to guy for when I have a problem, but I need to do more preventative is where I'm going.
Or proactive.
Yeah, so proactive. And so I know that's one of the things I'm going to be setting up with you as one of the things that needs to happen to look at our entire thing. And so I'm the type of person that likes to save money as any way that we can. We do as much of it ourselves as we can. But I'm at the place, and I want to encourage everybody who's watching this to realize that this is a new era. It's a new day. We can't play games with this anymore. No. There are tons of people that don't even keep their virus software updated. They are just sitting ducks for this.
That's right.
When I realized that we had all these 20, 30 municipalities in Texas attacked on the same day by ransomware, and we talked about this in our last broadcast, how these are cities that should be taking care of business, but they're not because we haven't factored in everything we need to. So I want to encourage everybody, get somebody like Ricardo, and he's a good one to get for sure, but find somebody who can give you advice on your systems, on what's going on with your business. And I know I definitely am gonna be beefing up and spending the money because we really need to. We can't afford not to.
No, it's at the long run, the damage, once it's done, it could make companies pretty much go bankrupt or out of business. I've seen it happen tons of times. Their data gets ransomed. They have to pay thousands of dollars. They get impact of months worth of delays or having to redo work for months back.
Wow.
And that's going to bring a big toll on their business that will carry for a long time, even lose credibility with their customers. Why am I giving you my data if it's not protected?
Right.
And I see this in bigger companies that they'll end up paying millions just because they got ransomed.
Wow.
There's many tools out there. It's a $1 billion industry out there right now for cybersecurity. A lot of the huge corporations are having departments of 50 employees just trying to protect your data and do this. So why wait thinking that you're a small or a medium business and this is never going to happen to you? I've seen it happen all the time. So it even happens at a personal level. You get hacked, their pictures get put in the websites. You see it with the stars in Hollywood and things all the time. Their phones get hacked. Just by connecting in a Starbucks Wi-Fi. Well, Starbucks is pretty protected, but in any Wi-Fi public, not having your mobile devices with password protection, not activating the dual authentication because it's a hack. I have to keep getting a text, putting a code.
Sure.
But these are all things that these industries nowadays have brought out to protect you. So it's really us to get educated, learn, research, and stay up to date on everything, just like you would do if you hear of a new health virus that's coming out. What do we do? How do we prevent contamination in the water? What do we do? What do we do? What are the next actions? How do we protect their family? At that point, we would be more interested than our data. But again, our data is our data, and it's years worth of it sometimes. Right?
Sure.
So we just got to take the actions and go for it.
Okay. All right. Ricardo, how do our folks get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Best way, they can call me at 512-808-0803. That's our office number.
808-0803.
Correct.
Area code 512.
512. Or you can email me at Ricardo Brenes at Virtual Ware Solutions, and we'll definitely talk to you, meet with you, and assess what your needs are.
All right. Wow, it's great information. Yep, important stuff. Well, listen, this is Dan Campbell. I thank Ricardo for being with us today. I'm with Texas Open Door Realty, and this has been another edition of The Happy Homeowner. We'll see you next time.